Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
That's right. It's time for Auto Repair with Personal Care with Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto. Matt, good morning.
Morning, Tom.
Nice day. Didn't start real well for you, though.
No. I had car problems.
No, wait, hold on. You know, they say the worst car on the road's a mechanic's car.
Well, that's not my car, but I was upset with it this morning.
You know, it's one of those things where usually it happens to me. Matt had a dead battery this morning. That usually happens to me when I'm running about 15 minutes late for a very important appointment.
Well, see, I woke up late. I never wake up late.
And you
ever.
woke up late with a dead battery.
With a dead battery.
Yeah, but you made it.
I'm here.
You're here. That's what counts to me. How you got here, immaterial.
Right. I probably won't be able to leave here today, but
we can do radio. You know, you can keep doing live radio. Mike Gallagher, who? You just keep going. So I want to tell you a story about the Cadillac.
Okay.
622-9622 is the number to call if you want to talk to Matt. So, you know, about 3 months ago, I brought the Cadillac over to you, and you put the machine on it, and it had 3,417 different diagnoses that were wrong with it. And it was a communication thing. It didn't get on the bus. You tell us it was just it not getting on the bus.
Yep.
But the two major flaws was the StabiliTrak module. It was telling you the StabiliTrak module was out.
Faulty, yep.
Right? And then check engine light was on.
Right.
And you shut everything off, but as soon as I cranked it up and backed out, StabiliTrak came back on.
Right.
Which means I had brakes from before 1990, not after 1990. So for 3 months, I've been riding around with the StabiliTrak on, which means StabiliTrak's not working. And for people that don't know, StabiliTrak's just a better braking system than we used to have.
Right.
It's safer. It's a safer braking system. So I'm going down a dirt road recently. Washboard, that washboard.
Yep.
And I'm going down the road now. I mean, it's probably 3.5 miles that I go down this road. And get to where I'm going. Then I come back up, and as I'm coming back up, I notice, because they're on so often, when they're not on, I notice the StabiliTrak light's gone off. And I get to the end of the road. Now, it was on when I got on the washboard. I get to the end of the washboard coming back off of it. It's off. And that was 2.5 days ago. It ain't come back on yet.
That's awesome.
Could the vibrations of that washboard road reconnected something or laid a wire that maybe was loose or cracked or something, laid it back? Can I infer that it was on when I got on that washboard? The car vibrated for 6+ miles. Now it's off.
Yep. And actually what you did was you actually performed one of our tests that we do in the shop. So a lot of times when it comes to certain modules, like computer stuff, module stuff, one of the first things that we do is we do what we call a tap test. Okay, so that's an actual test that we do. So
ball peen hammer?
A little one.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a little, I have a special little ball peen hammer that I have just for tap testing things.
Well, we used to use a ball peen hammer to tap the starter when you had a flat spot.
Absolutely. So that same exact concept. So in your case, you did a tap test on it,
but just for 6.5 miles, 7 miles, something like that.
And more than likely, you probably have some kind of a. So a lot of times in these modules, like the ABS control module, this is a real common problem, especially on GM cars. Will have a faulty relay, ABS relay. But now that doesn't sound like a big deal. We can replace relays all the time. They're usually in a fuse box. There will be relays and circuit breakers and fuses, but the problem with this particular relay, it's inside the computer. It's in the module, so you can't. There's no access to it. So a lot of times, what you smack it with a hammer, and it'll jar that relay, move the relay or something. It'll make contact again. But more than likely, we'll find out sometime down the road that the code will come back and the light will come back on. But that was just to confirm that is the issue. So
So I should then come to you, because the check engine light will go off. So I should come to you now, get the check engine light turned off, and then go trade it as fast as possible.
And actually, if I remember correctly, the check engine light on your car had to do with a crank sensor. I believe.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, man. It's are you ready to trade in your Cadillac?
No.
I know you ain't.
There's only one reason I'd trade in the Cadillac.
What's that?
Is if I came into enough money where I could buy a boat and a truck at the same time.
Okay.
Because if I came into enough money where I could buy a boat, then you got to have a truck. Cadillac ain't putting a boat in the water.
Yeah. No, I get you. I got you.
And, you always hear you don't want to buy a boat. You just want a friend with a boat. That's so much hogwash.
Yeah.
Because I don't want nobody driving my boat.
I love my boat, man.
But how many times you let other people drive it? No, non-family members.
I've let a couple people, non-family member. Matter of fact, I'd probably let other people that I have more confidence.
Are you letting Dan Martone drive your boat?
Never.
See,
never,
that's
no,
what I'm saying.
No,
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Actually, if Dan, I tell you what, if Dan wanted to drive my boat, I'd let him as long as he let me fly an airplane.
If Dan had his own boat, would you trust him enough to get in it with him?
Well, depends on where he got it from. I've seen him do some
Wheeler Dealers.
Oh my goodness, wheeling dealer from the get-go.
Dan loves that show. What was that show, Barter, where they would take, you would start with like a diamond ring and end up with a, house in the Alps. So the vibrate. So I actually performed an actual standardized test at the shop.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
I just did it for 6.5, 7 miles.
Yeah.
And you know what? Somebody goes, that road needs to be county maintained. I go, if it's a washboard, it probably is county maintained.
It probably is.
It ain't got big divot. It ain't got big potholes in it or anything. It's just a washboard. People don't realize a washboard is just dry conditions and then the wind blows.
Yeah. Yep. Actually, we were last weekend. Was it last weekend or the weekend before? We were. I don't know how long we had to drive down a dirt road. We had to go to some folks' house and same thing. I mean, it shook my car. I felt so bad for my car. That's probably why the battery quit working. I probably
shook
something
it to
loose.
death, yeah.
I shook it, something loose.
Shook it too much. But those dirt roads, it's got to, sometimes driving the left-hand side of the road, sometimes right, to avoid all the potholes in them. And limestone roads are very good dirt roads. We have very good dirt roads in the two places I've lived in my lifetime that I've driven dirt roads are Florida and Georgia. And you got red clay or limestone. They're both very good for dirt roads. But they also, in the dry season, can get potholes and washboards on them really easy.
Yeah.
People that don't know what we're talking about go, dirt road. What the? There's a bunch of people, snowbirds down here right now that listen to this show going, we don't have that in Ontario. What's he mean?
What's a dirt
road?
A
washboard on a dirt road. What's he talking about?
We went to visit my son. My oldest son lived in Greenwood, South Carolina.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and we were put in the address in the phone, and we're driving up there, and then all of a sudden we realized there's no more like major roads here. We're off the beaten path.
Certainly.
And then turn left. Turn left now. Turn left now. There's nothing. There's a trail.
Right. That was where you had to turn.
Turn left on the trail.
Yeah. I was out yesterday delivering some stuff for my wife for just shipped, and it said I was on 40, and it took me to it was a new subdivision that is less than a year old and on top of the world. Okay. Gave me the road, so I put the road in, and I'm on 40 right at the interstate. It says go out to 110th, take a left on 110th. Okay, so I go out, I'm taking a left on 110th. 110th, about 3 miles down 110th, it comes to a T. Where there's a horse farm in front of you, you got to go left or right. It's telling me continue straight on 110. So I take a right. It says, okay, now go down to 138th. Take a left at 138th, and it's telling me how to get there. Well, I go down 138. 138's a dirt road, just like the one I was on 2 days ago, 2.5 days ago. But this one was a little better maintained. So I get down there about 5 miles down the road. I go, I know I should be at 200 by now, even on dirt road. So I start, and then I crest a hill, and I go, uh-oh. This GPS don't know where it's taking me. Because now I went from when I topped that hill, there was a road to the right when you topped that hill, and then the road I was on continued. The road to the right was limestone and big enough for 2 cars. The road going straight where GPS was telling me had grass in the middle of it. It was 2 tire tracks with grass in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I go, this ain't right.
Yeah.
This ain't right. So I finally find out. I call the lady, get good directions. I get to her house. She goes, you're not the only one. She goes, pizza delivery drivers end up on that 2-lane two track with the grass in the middle. She goes, we're brand new, so Google ain't been in here yet, I guess. I mean, it literally had me at the crux of a road that was just 2 tire tracks with the grass in the middle of the 2 tire tracks. Looked like a driveway, but so. All right, Matt, we've wasted enough time. I got to ask you because I know that you have an opinion.
Oh, I got an opinion.
So I'm gonna and it deals with cars.
Okay.
You were a young man in the mid '70s, so you remember the oil embargoes.
Yep.
You remember that there was a mad push during the oil embargoes to push us away from big boat cars into small economy cars.
Yep.
So yesterday,
Datsun came on the scene. Datsun.
Yesterday, Jim Psaki, who is the Peppermint Patty of the press secretaries, she was at the podium at the White House and was asked, is there any plans to do anything that will bring this gas price, which, by the way, hit at the highest national average in the history of the country, yesterday at $4.19, which is 9 cents more than Obama at $4.10.
Yep.
Well, she was asked, is there anything that we're going to do to ease the gas prices? Her response was, and I've said this was the whole guy's, say what you want about why gas prices are going up. I think it's just one reason. She goes, no, we've told you alternative fuels and alternative motor vehicles are the way that we need to turn this country. That's what you need to think about. She point blank said, the gas prices are going up because we want you to drive electric cars. She said, I mean, that's what she said yesterday.
Yep.
I don't know where we're at.
I don't, Tom, I tell you, and I do have an opinion, but Lord knows. I don't even know really even how to say what I feel.
They're not running the gas prices up because gas is that expensive. They're running the gas prices up to drive us toward a car they want us to drive.
Well, okay, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the gas prices are going jacked up because of all the stuff that's going on.
Of course.
Okay.
Well, that's part of it, yes.
Now, could we do something about the gas prices? Is absolutely yes. We can.
Of course we could.
Before lunchtime today.
But they don't want to. They want alternative fuels and alternative cars.
So here's the deal. Okay, so it all comes down to this. Who are we to blame? Now, I would say, now here it is. So I would say we are to blame because we put this administration in this.
100%.
But I can honestly sit here in this seat right here on this radio station and say, I don't believe that we the people have put this guy in office.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay,
but the process that we have in our country
put
this guy in office.
That's exactly right. So,
okay, and we all agree that the process is the best that we got because it's better than anywhere else in the world. If it wasn't, Putin would be, he won a presidential election too.
Yeah.
99% of the vote voted for him.
Yeah.
That's not what the protesters are saying that are in Russia.
Yeah, okay.
So, let's go to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs on Sunrise Auto.
Good morning, Matt. Tom.
Sonny.
It's just crazy when you brought that up. To me, it is a fact. They got the stuff ready to go in a lot of places where all they got to do is get the okay, and we could have oil flowing in a week. We could have gas added to the gas lines within a week because the stuff is sitting there. The person in the White House took it away from us. I honestly believe that there is a crowd that is running him, like you would run a toy train on a track.
You may have a
I don't
very good
think-
point. It may be it may be a group behind him. Puppeteers is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually called my congressperson this morning and told him that exact thing. I said, "There's no way this guy can come up and think of these things. Not when you have a deal going, possible talks with Russia for settling this, a ceasefire, and this guy runs off to Delaware. What does it mean that digs in Delaware are more secure than the White House? You know, really, there's somebody running him, and that's for sure.
You may be right.
And the administration.
You may be right,
And-
Sonny. We got another call coming through. Thanks for the call.
Well, anyway, have a great day.
Yep, Sonny's right. Caller, if you want to call back, he hung up right as Sonny hung up. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. I know that Jim Psaki yesterday point blank said, "Do you have any plans to help alleviate this gas crunch?" She goes, "Look, the gas crunch is it's a world thing. It's a world issue, not an issue for us. And there are ways to deal with this gas crunch deal, and it's going to alternative vehicles and alternative fuel sources, which is what I've said the whole time. They want us to go. That's why it doesn't seem to be a huge priority for this administration, because it plays into what they want us to do, which is go to vehicles that they think are better for the environment.
So they're using this whole situation that's happening between Russia and Ukraine as a ploy, as a tool
to get the silver lining of all this is they can get their cars that will help the climate. In their estimation, still cars that still have to have the electricity. The electricity is still going to be created by coal-fired generating plants and fossil fuel generating plants.
But hey, who are we?
Neither here nor there.
We're just sitting over here.
Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Hugh.
Hey, I don't know if this is good news or not, but Murphy's in front of Walmart in Silver Springs is $3.97. And let me tell you how busy they are. He reminds me going back in the 70s when there was a fuel shortage. What a joke. I'm telling you, honest to God. And right down the block is Shell at $4.19. So figure that out.
Yeah.
It's the same gasoline. It's the same gasoline. 87% octane with 10% or less of ethanol. Same gas.
Right. See, I wanted to ask Matt real quick now, with the price of gas being as high, do you think people are going to kind of like start neglecting driving in their cars and not, and was your business going to kind of take a kind of a turn down?
This is the crazy part.
Thanks for the call, Hugh.
This is the crazy part. A lot of times when the economy starts suffering, that
your industry doesn't suffer as much because people are trying to stretch their car longer.
Right. But now, like, their air conditioner may quit, and they might not fix it right now because they just what's happening?
Hold on. Who would do that in Florida?
But they do. Okay, so yesterday I had a half a tank of gas in my truck, and I figured I'm going to go ahead and fill up before it gets to $4.50 again.
Right.
And it cost me $77.
Well, coming into work today, I looked at my gauge and it said half a tank. I go, well, I'll stop. When I leave work today, I'll fill up because it'll take me $40 to fill up. So $40. Now, it used to take me $40 to fill the whole tank.
Right.
Now, half a tank takes me $40.
Exactly.
But in my wallet, it's still $40.
That's right. So what's going to happen is, okay, so they want to push this whole thing. They want their agenda to come forth, and they're not paying attention to what they're doing to the people.
No.
And it's just like the sanctions they're going to put on Putin. He doesn't care about their sanctions.
Could care less.
He does not. He's a billionaire. He doesn't care if gas goes to $40 a gallon.
Could care
it will
less.
not affect him.
No, and they're still going to produce.
And he doesn't care what's going to happen to his
And by the
people.
way, we're not sanctioning Putin because we're still buying 720,000 barrels a day.
There you go. Whoop.
Okay.
There you go.
We're not sanctioning Putin.
Come on. This ain't. Whoop.
Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto.
Hi, guys. It's me again, Sonny. wait until we get a substantial number of electric vehicles on the road, and everybody's got a charger in their garage, or if
And
they
then the
have a
grid
garage.
starts going down.
No, what'll happen is they'll make the electric companies put the demand meters in every house, and you go over a certain amount of amperage, your price for that electric bill
Triples.
would go up a lot, substantially more. I work for a utility, and places like delicatessens where everything is refrigerated, they put these demand meters in on these people, and you wonder why you paid so much when you went to the store for food,
Well,
as opposed to a place. Well, even if you're big box places.
and
like
demand meters are something that's been around. Thanks for the call, Sonny. Demand meters have been around for a very long time, showing the demand and how much you got to play. For folks in Florida, what that means is, you know how we have the express lanes in some of these interstates, and during heavier traffic, it costs more to drive the express lane than it does in non-heavy traffic. Well, that's what a demand meter will be. During heavy traffic times in the summer, when there's more pull, if you're pulling more electricity, once you go over a certain meter amount, they'll start charging you, 20 cent more kilowatt hour or something like that. And your light bill, all of a sudden, your light bill will be $650 instead of $250.
Right.
Because, by the way, if it's $40 to $80 for a tank of gas, right now, electric companies, somebody's charging their car, an electric company may make $3 or $4 extra on that car. Electric companies are going to want to start making that same $40 or $50 a tank that the gas company was making.
Well, and then on lieu of all that, see, the government's going to start taxing the electric companies. The electric companies going to have. That's why they're going to have to charge us more.
Right.
Because right now, where does all this road construction, all this stuff come from?
Gas tax.
So if they're pushing all this stuff,
Electric tax.
so folks, get ready. Get ready, because we're gonna get to be taxed like.
They're going to tax you regardless of whether you got an electric car or gas car.
That's right. They're gonna get theirs.
And does this mean we start building more nuclear power plants? Now can I build a 75-foot windmill in my backyard so I can generate enough electricity to charge my car?
You know what? The solar panels on a lot of these houses are starting to actually look a little bit better.
Kind of smart in the Sunshine State.
And the Sunshine State. It's amazing what algae can do for fuel. I mean, but at the end of the day, I see it as this. This is what I see. When are we the people going to be we the people once again? You remember, we forget that the government actually works for us, right?
So many people forget that.
That
we're the employers, not the employees. They're the employees.
Yep.
And we forget that a lot of times. Yep. We the people are the employers. It's our money that pays them, not the other way around.
That's right.
Everybody thinks, the government pays us. No, they don't. You pay you.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Your sweat.
All this money the government gave us during the economic downturn.
They didn't give us nothing.
They gave us these stimulus checks. Yeah. They didn't give us that. They used our money to give it back to us.
Exactly.
They saw that we were suffering through this pandemic, and they go, well, let's give some of their money back to them.
What does the government do to create revenue?
Taxes. That's it. And who pays those? We do.
You know what? And there needs to be some entrepreneurs out there that are like, instead of, you don't want us to use gasoline? Let's use algae. Let's use biodiesel.
How about figure out how to harness the hydrogen in H2O?
So when my son was in his 8th grade science project, we and him made a hydrogen generator. Uh-huh. And after we made this generator, we put it on it was a 2002 Buick Somerset, and we had this car running. It was biofuel, so it was running on gasoline and hydrogen. And we took this car from driving, and it was getting like 28 miles to the gallon, and we got over 50 miles to the gallon by adding hydrogen to it.
Yeah, see, there may be an option.
Now, please, my phone will start ringing because last time gas got to these prices, everybody wants to do something.
Right.
Because
we got 10 seconds, Matt.
Okay.
Where are you located?
I'm located at 1800 Northwest 10th Street, and you can give me a call at 352-690-1993.
Matt Gibbs, Sunrise Auto. Talk to you next week.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be back after this timeout.
USA Radio News with Lance Pride.
Roughly 1.8 million refugees fleeing Ukraine as Russian forces continue their violent and destructive invasion into their neighbor. Ukrainian President Zelensky describes some of the Russian horror.
No military sense, just terror. They also took hostages in Irpin, Buchi, Hostomel, many other towns and settlements, villages where the invaders managed to occupy temporarily.
President Zelensky on the BBC has called for his country to be provided with military aircraft support and a global boycott of Russian oil to help his country's efforts. Congress gave final approval Monday to legislation making lynching a federal hate crime in the United States. The Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act is among some 200 bills that have been introduced over the past century that have tried to ban lynching in America. The bill was sent to President Biden and is expected to be signed into law.